to Ole Walls House. It's me. It's your man. It's your main man. It's Ole Walls. I'm back with you. Episode 147 coming your way. Got a great show coming. We're going to talk NFL football, college football. The World Series is happening. We got the Flyers out there stinking on the ice. We have my passing thoughts, so a lot of good stuff. Before we get into all that, I just want to say thank you to everybody. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the watches, the listens. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. And if you guys could, you know the deal, a little housekeeping. If you could go rate, review, comment, subscribe, and share. Let everybody know Ole Walls House is the place to be. So without any further ado, why don't you say we go dive into the NFL? NFL Week 8 is almost in the books. We got Steelers-Giants tonight on Monday Night Football. I don't envision a Monday night addendum for that game. I would expect the Steelers to win. We'll see, though, what old Russell, the muscle, has. So it was a good week to be a Packers fan, and it was a bad week to be a Packers fan. Packers get the win. That's the good. Let's start with the good. The Packers go to Jacksonville in a game I thought could be a trap game, and they get it done. On the back of Josh Jacobs could be one way to put it. Josh Jacobs had a tremendous game, 127 yards, 2 touchdowns, 25 carries. He was a real workhorse, so a little bit over 5 yards a carry. So a real nice performance from Josh Jacobs. Packers got out early. There was an early interception thrown. That Xavier McKinney picked up his 6th interception of the year. He said after he didn't have an interception last game and broke his 5-game streak, or 6-game streak, whatever it was, he's like, there'll be a new streak starting soon, and we got the streak started back up. So Xavier McKinney, another interception. What a great pickup in the offseason for him. Packers go up 10-0, but it wasn't without its faults. The team came out starting slow again, and that's seemed to have been a thing of late. Penalties have been an issue, like a poor play mixed in, seemingly a little undisciplined. Tucker Kraft made a comment about it after the game that we need to get better. Tucker Kraft himself had another nice game, 3 receptions, 78 yards, a touchdown near the end of the game from Malik Willis. But, I mean, just one example, there were 6 minutes left in the second quarter, and Tucker Kraft had a big play, and then the next play there was an illegal shift. Kind of ruined the momentum of the drive, and instead of punching it in and it being 17-7, all of a sudden it's just 13-7, and then the Jags go right down the field and get a field goal as the pretty much before the half expires. And then come out and score. Just little things like that, that got to get cleaned up for the Packers to beat the better teams in the NFL. The Jags, obviously not one of the better teams in the NFL. And, this was a game that was, again, won by a last-second field goal by Brandon McManus. Obviously, this one a very short one after Malik Willis leads the team down the field. I forget if it was Dontavian Wicks or if it was Jaden Reed or Romeo Doubs down the left side. Whoever it was, a nice deep ball, gets him in the scoring position. They get the first down in the running back, I forget the other one, goes down, and they are able to bleed the clock out and kick the field goal as time expires. The bad, we talked a little bit about the bad already, but the other bad was Jordan Love comes up limping early, visits the blue tent, comes back out, is seemingly not right, and does not play the second half, which obviously leads to Malik Willis, who's again come in relief and been phenomenal. Done what he needs to do, has been proficient at keeping the ball and not turning it over, makes a big play with his legs every once in a while, had a nice 12, 15-yard run to kind of keep the momentum going, gives people something they have to worry about with his legs, so cannot say enough good things about what Malik Willis has done in the 3 games where he's come in relief this year, and has really helped this team out and kept them afloat. And, they're sitting 6-2, a game back of the Detroit Lions for the lead in the division, or not even a full game. I think that the Lions are 6-1 now, right? And the Packers are 6-2. With the Packers bye week coming up here in not too long. But that leads us to a big showdown. It's going to be before I get going too far, back to Jordan Love. He had an MRI on his groin. It was a groin injury, not a knee. The MRI came back that it wasn't serious, but he is a game-time decision as of now for the Lions game on Sunday. So, it's gonna be a tough game for the Packers. The Lions are a great football team right now, it seems. Their offense is prolific. If anything, there might be a little bit of a hole for the Lions, might be their defense. So maybe the Packers can get to them, try and keep the offense in check and, do the right things and, stay in the game and, keep the Lions offense in check and see if they can find some holes in the defense. So, like I said, good with the bad. Luckily, it's not the worst for Jordan Love. Jordan Love, again, though, just to circle around to him. Some questionable throws, man. The interception he threw was, an out pattern way across the field. Didn't have enough zip on it. It gets picked off. He's got to be a little smarter with the ball. I know I kind of mentioned last week, this is like the Brett Favre experience. Like, we're going to get the good, we're going to get the bad. He's going to try and fit it into some windows he probably shouldn't. But that's kind of what's going to be happening with him. The Packers, this game almost got away from them, too. It shouldn't have, but I think with 5 minutes remaining or 10 minutes maybe remaining or so, they score a touchdown and go up 27-17 at the start of the fourth quarter, but then the lead got whittled away and it got tied. And luckily the Packers made the drive and did what they were supposed to, but just there were moments. There were moments, and like I said, they got to come out better. They've been electing to receive to start the games when given the opportunity, and when your team's coming out flat and making some dumb penalties, that's not right. That's not the right decision. It's not going to work for you. So they need to clean some things up, I think. It's odd. They had 3 penalties, and they all came in that first quarter and a half. And things kind of cleaned up as they go. So, just come out and, like I said, Tucker Kraft said they need to be better, but they do need to be better. So let's wrap with the Packers and swing around the rest of the NFL this week. The Vikings go down. They've lost 2 in a row now. They fall to the Rams on Thursday Night Football. I did see a stat, and I didn't keep it or take a picture. I don't even know where I saw it and if I sent it to somebody. But the Vikings in recent history have started 5-0 on 3 separate occasions and then have lost 4 games in a row. And the Packers have gone on to win the division. Obviously, the difference in probably those years to this year is the Lions are in the equation as well. So very interesting little tidbit, I thought. The Dolphins play the Cardinals, and the Cardinals get a win. The Arizona Cardinals now lead the NFC West. They've won back-to-back games. If they can win again next week, that is a winning streak. Tua played pretty solid in the game in his first game back, and the Dolphins' offense did seem to come back to life a little bit. Dolphins got out early to a 10-0 lead, but Tua 28-38, 234, and a touchdown, so not bad. Kyler Murray played a fantastic game, 26 of 36, 307, and 2 touchdowns. And like I said, the Dolphins were out to a 10-0 lead after the first quarter, and the Cardinals just kept charging back, and the Dolphins actually got up 27-18 in the fourth. But again, the Cardinals, gritty win. The lowly New England Patriots have beat the New York Jets, and as a guy who's a big Aaron Rodgers fan, I think it needs to be said. I think it's time. The Aaron Rodgers experiment in New York has been an abject failure. It's last year was what it was. Rodgers goes down and gets hurt, but the fact of the matter is that was a year that was wasted. So we're 2 years into the Aaron Rodgers thing, and the Jets are sitting here at 2-6. They've lost 5 games in a row. They were 2-1 and have lost every game since. They've had chances to win a couple of those games coming down the stretch. They, again, had another chance to kind of win this game coming down the stretch. The Jets have fired Robert Saleh. He's made an appearance out in Green Bay as kind of I don't even know if administrative assistant or special assistant or whatever it is. But man, the Aaron Rodgers experience has not gone well in New York. Rodgers has not thrown for 300 yards in 30 games. I think it was week 14 of the 2021 season was the last time he has. They've changed play callers. They've added Devontae Adams. It's just not working. It's felt like the last couple games were season make or break games for them, and it's been break at 2-6 with their next game against the Texans. It feels like they have to, maybe they can lose one game the rest of the year, 2 at the absolute most. But I don't know. It seems like there's so much wrong in New York, and Rodgers he's not been the Aaron Rodgers of old. And, maybe the fact that he's 40 is kind of playing into that. But the Aaron Rodgers experiment in New York has not worked. It's not worked. Jameis Winston, crab legs, leads the Browns to a big win over the Ravens. The Ravens now in a tough race in the AFC North with the Steelers out ahead of them now, pending what happens on Monday Night Football. But tough loss for the Ravens. Crab legs gets it done. Another AFC North team. The Bengals just get shit kicked by the Eagles. The Eagles seem to be starting to find something. The Bengals now sitting at 3-5. They're at least 2 games back of the division, if it could be 3. And and then the Eagles, they're looking strong all of a sudden. They're chasing down the Commanders. We'll get to them. Don't worry. The Texans hold on to beat the Colts. They tried to throw it away, both literally and figuratively. C.J. Stroud throws a terrible interception late in the game, and it gets returned for a touchdown because they think they don't touch the guy down. It comes back, but that one did cost me in a little wager I had made. So, we'll continue the look here through the rest of the schedule. The Lions lay an absolute beatdown on the Tennessee Titans. Just mash them. 14 points in the first, 21 in the second, 17 more in the third. They barely, it totally impressive. I believe there were a couple, was there a return or two here? Yeah, Khalif Raymond had a 90-yard punt return. They barely, their team stats are incredible. They only had 225 total yards. Jared Goff, I think, passed for 85 yards or something like that. Yeah, 85 yards, 12 of 15, 85 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs ran for $127. Just a beatdown in an incredible way. Falcons and the Buccaneers. Falcons take down the Buccaneers. I believe Baker threw a couple interceptions. Yeah, 2 interceptions. And the Falcons take control of the NFC NFC South. The 5-3. So both teams came into that 4-3. And the Falcons out ahead of it now. And what turned out to be a very important game. We've reached the point of the season where there are very important games going on. And some very interesting games. Chargers beat the Saints. The Saints in total free fall after a 2-0 start have lost 6 in a row. The Buffalo Bills lay the beatdown on the Seattle Seahawks. And the Buffalo Bills with 6 wins now have as many wins as the rest of the division that they are in. The 6 wins match the 6 wins for the Dolphins, Jets, and Patriots, each with 2 apiece. 2 apiece. The Chiefs and the Raiders. The Raiders give the Chiefs a little bit of a game. The Chiefs had a goal line stand after throwing an interception deep in their own territory, end up holding the Raiders in a very, very pivotal spot, and are able to hold on and be the lone undefeated team in the NFL. Still undefeated. Don't feel like they've been fantastic this year, but still undefeated. Travis Kelce gets his first touchdown on National Tight Ends Day. A lot of tight end touchdowns. Most touchdowns in the red zone window so far of any week this year. The Broncos get out early on the Panthers. The Panthers actually scored first, but then the Broncos reeled off 28 unanswered, and before the Panthers scored a late touchdown, not enough to affect the spread, but probably might have done a little something to the over-under 42. It could have been close. And the Cowboys, after getting out to a little bit of an early lead over the San Francisco 49ers, the 49ers figure it out a little bit at halftime, come out in the third quarter. It was the third quarter for them in the third quarter. score a couple touchdowns. Score 3 touchdowns, not just a couple, 3 of them. 3 of them. Started the half down 10-6, and then all of a sudden after the third scorcher, as we're apparently calling it now, end up 27-10. But the Cowboys made it a little interesting at points. CeeDee Lamb had a couple of touchdowns. Friend of the program, Jeff the Veach Slanovic, Mr. Jeffy, was on the wrong side of a CeeDee Lamb fantasy performance in the fourth quarter, flipping him from a win to a loss in tough fashion there. I don't know if this was the game of the day, but it was the finish of the day. The Washington Commanders, on a Hail Mary, as time expires, beat the Chicago Bears. The Bears had just taken the lead. Austin Eckler oddly decides to run it out of the end zone, basically wasting about 6 seconds when they only had about 30 left. But the Bears had scored the touchdown after they got down to the goal line before and tried to hand it off to a lineman who fumbled it. Whoopsies. But then the Commanders, and just an absolute Tony Romo special. He's talking them through, hey, here's what we're going to do. We're not going deep just yet with 6 seconds left. We're going to run a quick out. We're going to advance the ball 10, 12 yards. It'll take about 3 seconds. I'll have 3 seconds left to throw the Hail Mary. And we throw the Hail Mary indeed. And it's tipped. And Noah Brown, the guy in waiting right behind the huddled mass of people trying to jump up and knock it down, comes up with the ball. A gentleman for the Bears by the name of Tyreek Stevenson was deciding to talk shit to the crowd and not be paying attention to the play at all. Sees that the ball is going deep, or it's about to happen. Sprints over, is the last man to tip it, and does not knock it down, but tips it up to Noah Brown. Touchdown, Commanders! That's going to be a tough film session for that guy, I would imagine. Going to be a tough one. Next week, what do we got? We got Texans-Jets on Thursday Night Football. Again, I've talked about the Jets. That feels like, again, yet another make-or-break game. Saints-Panthers. Oofta, what a game that'll be. Giants-Commanders. Commanders looking to keep the good momentum going, keep on a roll, take down the Giants. Dolphins-Bills. Another game. There feels like there's a number of make-or-break games out here for some teams. This feels like one for the Dolphins. Can't fall to 2-7. Got to find a way to pick up a win. 2 in his second game. Can he get back and take down the Bills, who have looked pretty good? Chargers-Browns. Can Crab Legs keep it rolling? We'll see. Another game that should just be absolutely disgusting. Patriots-Titans. Yuckies. Cowboys-Falcons. That'll be an interesting one. Falcons, like I said, leading the division, but the Bucs are right there. The Cowboys, again, feels like they need a win. I don't know if the season's on the line just yet for them, but it feels like for their momentum, they need a victory. Bengals-Raiders, again, this one feels like the season's darn near on the line. Their division's too tough. I don't know if falling to 3-6 is something they can recover from. Get back to 4-5, and you might be able to do something with it. Broncos-Ravens. The Broncos coming east. They've been kind of a surprisingly interesting team. I don't want to say surprisingly good, but surprisingly interesting. Bears-Cardinals. A game that I don't think anybody at the start of the year would have pegged as being a very, very interesting and very pivotal game. Obviously, the Bears trying to keep pace in the NFC North. Somebody out ahead of them is going to lose this week with the Lions and the Packers playing. Don't want to drop too far down, or they're going to be in a little bit of a trouble there. Jags-Eagles, like I said, Eagles starting to look like they figured it out. The Jags struggling. Could be some more time for the Eagles to just keep pounding away and get another win in the win column. Rams-Seahawks, that division is wide open still. The NFC West. The Rams are in last place at 3-4. All the other teams are at 4-4. So every division matchup with those guys seems like it's going to be very interesting. Packers-Lions, we've talked about it. Packers got to find a way. May not have Jordan Love. The Lions' offenses look solid this year. Is there a hole in the defense? Maybe. Colts-Vikings, Anthony Richardson, if he can keep himself healthy and not out of breath for the whole game, we'll see what he can do with them. And then the Bucs and the Chiefs. I think the Bucs and the Chiefs on Monday Night Football could be pretty interesting. So Yeah, that wraps up my NFL thoughts for the week. College football now. Penn State overcomes its second straight halftime deficit to come out with a victory. They were down 10-7 at Camp Randall after halftime and came out and found a way to get the win, outscoring the Wisconsin Badgers 21-3 in the second half. This was it was a weekend of backups for my team. Second half backups. Bo Prabula comes in and leads the Nittany Lions to a victory. A big interception that was returned for a touchdown to start the third quarter. Really kind of flipped the game on its head and allowed Penn State to kind of start marching and getting away with it. Again, I said this was a trap game. I said it was trap game weekend, and it turned into backup second half quarterback weekend. Penn State gets done what they need to get done. They get by Wisconsin. They got the matchup with Ohio State coming next week. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But Penn State gets it done. Elsewhere in the top 25, Notre Dame just absolutely annihilates Navy, 51-14. Never a doubt. Not Penn State. I was thinking because of next week, Ohio State and Nebraska. Ohio State needs some late game heroics there. Ohio State scores with about 6 minutes left in the fourth, holds on to get the victory. An interesting game. Nebraska kind of gave them all they wanted and then some. But Ohio State gets the victory going into a big matchup next week. Ole Miss beats Oklahoma. Indiana, with the site of game day, they take care of Washington. Alabama absolutely annihilates Missouri. And Missouri somehow stays in the top 25 despite the fact of getting their asses kicked by Alabama, while Vanderbilt, who gave Texas a game, falls out of the top 25. Very interesting little thing there. Texas holds on against Vanderbilt 27-14. Vanderbilt, like I said, was in it. A little bit of a fugazi there that they scored that touchdown late to make it seem a little bit closer than it was. But still, very competitive. Miami, the U, cleans up the last of the Florida teams to play this year and claim themselves state champions in the great state of Florida. Texas A&M, in front of about 110,000 fans, takes down LSU, and the topsy-turvy SEC continues to provide some good games. Kansas State holds on to take down Kansas. SMU beats Duke in overtime. Colorado, now ranked, picked up a win over Cincinnati. And Washington State, also now ranked, picked up a win over San Diego State. Watched a couple of those games. Like I said, watched a lot of that Texas game. Was a relatively interesting game. Watched a good portion of the Nebraska-Ohio State game. Oh, I didn't mention Oregon. Oregon just absolutely annihilated Illinois. Illinois just not on that level. This week, obviously, Penn State, Ohio State is at the big noon game. Also at noon, Miami will take on Florida. Boise State plays Friday night for us to give us a little Friday night action. Georgia plays Florida, but Florida stinks. Tennessee, Kentucky, Pittsburgh, and SMU seems to be the best night game we got going for us. But like I said, the big one, 3-4 matchup, Penn State, Ohio State. Biggest game at Penn State in a while, probably. Penn State and Ohio State has been, it's tough to call it a rivalry because Ohio State always wins. I'm pulling it up right now to see what the last couple of years have been like. I'm trying to think, is the last time Penn State beat Ohio State 2016? Is that really how bad it could be? I mean, is it that bad? Is that how bad it is? It seems that bad. Yes, it is. And oh man, is it bad? Oh, holy moly! If you go back to the start of the millennium, the century, go back to 2000, Penn State has won. In 2001, when both teams were unranked. In 2005, Penn State was the 16th ranked and Ohio State was the 6th ranked. I believe that was like one of the first whiteout games. It was at that time just limited to the student section. In 2008, Penn State took down Ohio State. 2011, Oh, 2008. I remember that game. That was like right before Halloween. And, Devlin. Tommy, was it Tommy Devlin? The Devlin guy, I think was his name, came in and for Darryl Clark. 11 in the wake of a scandal for Penn State, and Jim Tressel had just been forced out. Penn State beat Ohio State. And then 2016, Penn State beat number 2 Ohio State, followed by just years and years of heartbreak. Back-to-back 1-point losses, which were both cool, in 2017 and 2018. But yeah, they have not won since 2016. And like I said, since the year 2000, 1, 2, 3, 4 wins. 4 wins. I caramba. Oofta. Without Drew Aller, I don't know even what to think. This just feels like the game where the Penn State hype train goes to die, and Ohio State comes in here and either wins in heartbreaking fashion or James Franklin does something dumb. James Franklin, by the way, was 4-5 coming off byes in his career at Penn State. Moves to 5-5. But yeah, this is a big game. It stinks that it's at noon. It does. I mean, Penn State whiteout for Ohio State is phenomenal. You know, having been to a couple of them, it's really one of the best assets the Penn State team has to kind of even the playing field, but they will not have that in their bag. So I don't know. Maybe something happens that I'm not expecting and Penn State can get it done. I just doubt it. I just do, man. I envision myself at about 2:30 my time, looking around thinking, why do I do this? Why do I care? Why do I think they're going to beat Ohio State? I hope I'm wrong. I hope right now I can look back and be like, that guy's an idiot, and we have a different result. So we will see. Some other sports to talk about. The World Series. Freddie Freeman in Game 1. Walk-off grand slam to send the Los Angeles Dodgers to a Game 1 win. We saw, I think was it Game 2? We had Ice Cube out there. I mean, pretty wild stuff going on out there. It was a 6-3 victory in the 10th inning. That drew some comparisons to Kirk Gibson's home run in the World Series. And what was that, like the 89, 90, something like that World Series. Freddie Freeman also hobbled by a little bit of an injury. Kirk Gibson famously hobbled by an injury in that game. But yeah, the Dodgers jump out to a 1-0 series lead. In Game 2, the Yankees load the bases in the ninth and are not able to get. I think they got it with 1 out, and then they were unable to bring home any runs. And the Dodgers escape LA with a 2-0 series lead. They always say series does not start till the home team loses the game. So any minute here now, Monday night, the Yankees and the Dodgers are going to get going. The Yankees have Clark Schmidt on the hill, and Walker Buehler will take the bump for the Dodgers. I don't know how Walker Buehler's been doing this offseason. Looks like he's pitched 9 innings, has a 6 ERA. Clark Schmidt has pitched 9.1 and a 3.6. So I do think I heard that the Yankees bullpen is a little depleted. They did in that Game 1 go to, the goofy dude, the goofy lefty. I can't think of his name. I'm going to have to look it up here real quick. I'm going to have to look it up what his name was. Where were stats? There we go. Nestor Cortez. Did he give up the home run? He gave up 2 earned. I don't know if he gave up the home run. Yes, he gave up the home run to Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman had another home run in Game 2. A lot of home runs in Game 2. I think 3 or 4. Freddie Freeman had not hit a home run in 41 days going into the home run he hit in Game 1 of the World Series, I think I heard. Aaron Judge has not been performing well in the postseason. Outside of a couple of games against Cleveland, really struggling and has been getting a little bit of flack from Yankees fans, I believe. So elsewhere in other sports, the Flyers stink again. Oh no, we're shitty again. Lost 3 this week. They took out the Minnesota Wild, but it's feeling more and more as if last year's little spurt through the middle of the season was fake, The Flyers now stand at a paltry 2-6-1. I think they're already at the bottom of the Metropolitan Division. Yes, with a just awful 5 points, 2 points behind the Penguins and Blue Jackets at 7. 13 goal to the minus differential so far this year. It just feels like what last year was just a total anomaly in the rebuild. We do have Big Meech, Mate Mishkov for us, who's got a couple goals early, but it's just been not great, man. It's just been not great. I think it's just Big Meech is what we're hoping for. He's got 9 points on the year, 4 goals already, which has been nice. Or sorry, 2 goals. Why did I say 4? 2 goals. Why does he? Does he really have 9 points? Why is the last 5 games he has 2 goals. Sorry, he does. He has 4 goals, 5 assists, so 9 points. We'll see. Hopefully things kind of right the ship a little bit, and the rebuild can start handling itself a little better. But as of right now, not great. Not great. Okay, let's go to my passing thoughts. Time for some passing thoughts. We'll start with one of the tweets I saw this week that I really loved. Was this one right here. This picture of the tape player CD adapter from Super 70 Sports, the official equipment of, I don't know what all the poor motherfuckers are doing, but it's 1995 and I'm listening to CDs in my car like a successful person. Hell yes. The thing about that was, your boy here was using that thing to listen to an iPod as late as 2013 in my truck that only had a tape player. The radio didn't work, and there was one speaker that was falling out down into the passenger side foot area. So yeah, that thing is near and dear to my heart. Like I said, I used one of those all my life, in parents' cars that didn't have CD players, plugging that thing in to play some CDs. And then into the first truck I had, a 1999 black Nissan Frontier with a bullet hole in the hood, a burn mark up on the hood front fender area. And that tape player, all the way from the time I first drove in 2007 to the time I last drove that truck in 2013, that tape adapter was with me the whole way, powering through to my iPod. Little blue iPod Shuffle, I think it was, or was it Mini or Shuffle? It was the little one. It wasn't the tiny one. It was like the thinner, smaller one, about yay big. Man, what times? What times? I saw this tweet. This was phenomenal to me. Sam Kavoris tweeted a fun, unknown, silly NFL stat. Uncrustables are the favorite snack at halftime of most teams and post-practice during the week. See, that should have been worded a little different. Favorite snack at halftime and post-practice of most teams during the week. League-wide, they eat about 80,000 a year. The Jaguars ranked third at about 315 a week, and the Broncos are first at over 700 a week. So if you break it up into a 7-day week, we're talking 100 a day. And, they're not in I don't think they're in the facility all 7 days, but just say they are. You got 53 on the roster. You got about 15 to 20 on the practice squad. So you're looking at about 70 guys. So you're looking at everybody in at least one. Some people are eating about 2. Half the teams. So you're looking at about 1.4, 1.3 a day of Uncrustables. Just absolutely incredible. Incredible stat. Fun, unknown, and silly, he says, and I'm all about it. Just absolutely phenomenal. Watched a couple of movies this week. Watched Confidence with Eddie Burns. A ton of people in that movie that you would know. Let me pull that up. It's hard. You can usually type. I'm down to one screen here, but we'll make do. We'll make do here. So I got to use my phone. Confidence. We have Dustin Hoffman, Eddie Burns, Rachel Weisz, Andy Garcia, Paul Giamatti, Morris Chestnut. All sorts of great actors and actresses in this movie. Real fun movie, little heisty, little turns, little twists and turns, some might say. But really good movie. First time I've ever seen it. Definitely would would suggest it for those of you who are looking for a fun movie to watch. Also watch Scary Movie 3. There was some discussion of it in a group chat and made me really interested in watching it. By far my favorite Scary Movie. I forgot how funny it is at all different points. I think it's spoofing The Ring mostly. We get some Matrix spoofing in there. What else do we get? We get 8 Mile, Signs. Really good stuff. Charlie Sheen plays the former pastor who's lost his way. The Mel Gibson character. Anna Faris is in the Ring portion. We get Anthony Anderson cocking a shovel and ejecting a shotgun casing. Kevin Hart, I mean, just phenomenal. Leslie Nielsen as the president. We get Ja Rule, some old Tupac, sir. Oh God, Tom, I'm gonna need a ride home. Just great stuff. Scary Movie 3, by far my favorite scary movie. I suggest it to anyone if you haven't seen it. If you have, go watch it again. Just absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I made this comment to the roommate last night as it was getting dark when the Commanders were finishing up their game. And I was like, man, it just feels like it's like football season is really set in now that it's getting dark in that second afternoon, the late afternoon games as they finish. And that'll be really happening next week as daylight savings time kicks in and we start getting darkness coming to us, about 4:30, 5 o'clock for most of us in the northern half of the United States. It's depressing. It is. But, the flip side is it's either that or it gets light at 8 o'clock in the morning. And, I've never been one who's hated, the clock switching. It just kind of seems like a necessary evil to me. Do I love that it gets dark at, 4 o'clock in the afternoon? But no, I don't. But I also don't mind that it's not fucking dark at 8 o'clock in the morning. I've been in, if you go far west in the time zone, you go Michigan in the winter and it's dark forever in the morning. It stays lighter a little longer, but like you get up in the morning, you're like, oh, it just makes you feel a little extra sluggish because of it. But that's coming. That's coming. I just had this thought the other day because I've been, working in a little different scenario. I'm, sitting in my living room here and, I'm not down at my desk. And, being at a desk, you kind of forget that you're working on a laptop and I've got a couple extra screens that are, plugged in and my laptop's always hardwired. But, I've been working either in a bedroom or in the living room here the last couple weeks. And it's like laptops and Wi-Fi are kind of something that I feel like, I don't know, I've taken for granted. They're just fucking absurd. Like, I just walk my ass around with this laptop all around my house, and it just works because I have Wi-Fi. My phone, just on the internet because I have Wi-Fi. I mean, or the fact that it just picks up Wi-Fi or internet out of the sky. What a wild time we live in. Wild time. Speaking of wild times, Tony Hinchcliffe opened the Trump rally in Madison Square Garden. Very interesting choice. Tony Hinchcliffe, an insult comedian who is quite edgy, I guess you could say. I was just scrolling through Twitter and I saw it. I'm like, wait, what? This is for real? I mean, the guy's up there insulting everybody. The news outlets are having a field day because he says some wild shit. They're upset about a thing he said about Puerto Rico. Also, just funny to watch him like trying to get the crowd to laugh because they're like obviously not his crowd. Like they're there for like the political shit. Very interesting. Just very interesting. And I'll just end on this. All the fucking loser news media who are saying like that was a Nazi rally, like go fuck yourselves. Like if you want to go after Trump, there's plenty of shit. I've said this, I don't know how many times, a million times. Like there is plenty of shit to attack him for. Like policy wise, his personal character, whatever. Like there is plenty of stuff you can talk shit about him, attack him on, and and go after him about. To like the news media, just every single booth, like, oh, it's a Nazi rally. It's the fascists. Fuck off. No wonder your guys' fucking businesses are cratering CNN and MSNBC. Like you just stoke fucking bullshit fear. Like Trump was fucking president for 4 years. I saw one, someone's like, the lesbians voted for Trump. They'll be the first people in a train. Yeah, he's gonna put fucking people in trains. Why did he do it the first time? All right, I'm getting fired up. Let's go wrap this thing up. Closing time, everybody. As always, just want to start off saying thank you to you guys. Appreciate you watching, appreciate you listening. So thank you. As always, a big thank you to producer Kevy for helping us get started on this this video path that they're rolling on here now. We'll be back next week. Obviously, more football, NFL, college. The Flyers are going. Maybe they'll actually win a fucking game or two. Let's see if we can win 2 in a week. That'd be nice. World Series. At this rate, could be wrapped up pretty shortly. I don't even know if it's scheduled to go into past this next week here. I might be able to tell you real quick. We're going to do some quick math. No, it'll be over no matter what. So next week we will have an update for you, regardless of the winner. I'm guessing Dodgers in 5. But yeah, all that stuff's coming next week. More passing thoughts. So once again, thank you. Appreciate all your support. Till next week. Peace.